You share your thoughts on how Shilajit might influence cognitive function and physical health, specifically its impacts to boost testosterone. I get a lot of questions about Shilajit. Shilajit is a mineral pitch from the Himalayas. There are a lot of fake versions out there, but the authentic versions are basically, this is stuff that basically they take soil and grasses and a bunch of things and they mash it down and they take the extract and they create this stuff called Shilajit, which sometimes is sold as a thick paste, kind of a tar-like paste. Sometimes it's in capsules. What do we know about Shilajit? Shilajit contains minerals that are thought to augment some hormone pathways, and that's why people have argued, and it's marketed, that Shilajit increases vitality. It's been argued that Shilajit can increase testosterone, maybe estrogen as well. There are actually a few studies on this that are covered at examine.com. I'm going to bring up one just now. This we can induce a little gap effect here if there's a pause. There is some data, not a ton, but there's some data that support the use of Shilajit for testosterone increase, but I would place it on the low end of the effectiveness scale in terms of things to increase testosterone. And then, of course, the real question is, are you getting enough authentic Shilajit to really have an effect? The dosaging on this is very mysterious. In other words, I personally wouldn't place Shilajit high on any list of ways to generate hormone support. There are far better ways. I mean, the best ways, of course, are to make sure that your body fat percentage is neither too high nor too low. Okay, the people who are overweight, who are obese, who lose body fat will improve their hormone profiles dramatically. However, people who are already very lean, who get excessively lean, you can disrupt testosterone levels dramatically. And by the way, anytime there's a discussion about testosterone, I want to remind that both men and women have testosterone. It's important in both men and women. Yes, it's related to libido, but having sufficiently high levels of estrogen in both men and women is also critical for libido. People that take drugs like an anastrozole to disrupt the aromatase conversion of testosterone into estrogen can sometimes find themselves with reduced libido. And that's because estrogen is critical for libido in men and women, as is testosterone. So it's all about the ratios. Going back to Shilajit, let's look at the human effect matrix on Shilajit. There is one study here with 60 participants that cites a small increase, small but statistically significant increase in follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, which in females is critical, in males is critical, and the extent of the increase is just very small. So it's not clear that it would be worth taking Shilajit given the risks and the cost. It depends on how aggressive you are in trying to increase testosterone. Certainly there are other ways. Sperm quality, one study showing a small improvement in sperm quality, one study of 60 participants showing a small increase in testosterone. And then of course there's a bunch of other things that have been looked at. The perhaps most impressive effect is a reduction in some LDLs, but again, even though I say the most impressive, it's still a small effect. So I wouldn't place Shilajit high on the list of supplements to consider. Always, 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 before talking about supplements, you want to get your nutrition right. I've talked about how to do this. You want to be exercising, but not overtraining. You want to do both resistance training and cardiovascular training, maybe on the same day or different days, whatever your schedule allows. You want to make sure you get enough sleep at night. If you want to increase your testosterone significantly, get an extra 30 to 60 minutes of sleep each night. Even a 20-minute increase in rapid eye movement sleep is going to serve your testosterone far better than taking Shilajit. Will taking Shilajit increase your vitality? Probably increase your energy a bit. You might increase libido a bit. You have to ask yourself, is it transient? Is that effect transient? Is it directly related to testosterone increases? Probably not. It's probably directly related to follicle-stimulating hormone increases. And for women who have a menstrual cycle that is, obviously going to lead to different constellations of hormones, markedly different constellations of hormones, such as follicle-stimulating hormone, estrogen, progesterones, etc., different times throughout the cycle. Taking something like Shilajit, because it can stimulate FSH release, can potentially disrupt that. If you're a male who's doing everything else, like you're exercising, you're sleeping well, your nutrition is locked in, you are taking creatine and fish oil, you're taking care of your gut microbiome, and you want to experiment with Shilajit, well, by all means, find a reliable source of Shilajit. They are out there. Just look for one that has some testing for authenticity, and then you're likely to be able to see within about a week or so if it leads to a significant increase in vitality, libido, whatever it is that you're seeking. But I wouldn't place Shilajit high on the list of things to pursue. And I will also say, having tried Shilajit, it's pretty messy. It's hard to get the dosaging right in the tar form. The capsules make it a little bit easier. If you wanted to explore other ways to augment testosterone that have a bit more data to support them, I would say things like Tongkat Ali, which may have its effects on increasing libido in both men and women by virtue of increasing testosterone or maybe free testosterone. More likely, it's an increase in luteinizing hormone in that case, which is upstream of testosterone. So this can all get into some pretty extended discussions about biochemical pathways and hormone pathways. I did this on the episode about optimizing testosterone and estrogen as a solo episode that I also covered with Dr. Kyle Gillette and with Dr. Peter Attia. By the way, if you go to hubermanlab.com and you put in any combination of search items, if you put, for instance, Shilajit testosterone, it will take you to the timestamp that covers that. If you put Tongkat Ali testosterone or libido Tongkat Ali, it will take you to the timestamps across different episodes, directly to those timestamps so that you don't have to listen to entire episodes or go searching for this information. It's all there. We also have an AI engine at hubermanlab.com that allows you to do searches on this sort of thing. But of course, I'm happy to talk to you about it as well. I'm delighted to. So again, if you have the budget and you're somebody who likes to experiment, maybe Shilajit is the right thing for you. Find a good brand. It shouldn't be hard to distinguish the real brands. They always have a label of authentication on there. And if you're going to already be doing everything else right behaviorally, and you want to explore supplementation for improving testosterone, vitality, etc., then I would say don't start with Shilajit. You'd probably be best off starting with something like Tongkat Ali, maybe Fedogia. I've talked about these things previously. Okay, let's see. Two questions popped up in front of me, so I'll just take the first one. Alexander, I like the way you spell your name, Alexander. It's unusual. I dig it. What has your process been for the writing of